Today I have the keys to the 2020 Porsche Macan S. Huge shout out to Greenville Luxury for providing this SUV for me today. Definitely check out their website. They also have Jaguar, Land Rover, and Volvo. This model here is finished off in a very vibrant Mamba Green Metallic, and it has an MSRP just under $80,000. Let's go ahead and get into today's review by starting up underneath the hood, where you'll find the 3-liter turbocharged V6 engine. This is paired to the 7-speed PDK transmission, and it pumps out 348 horsepower, around 5,400 RPM, and 354 pound-feet of torque as low as 1,300 RPM. This is an all-wheel drive SUV. It weighs in around 4,300 pounds, and it'll do 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds, up to its top speed of 157 miles an hour, and with a fuel capacity of 19.8 gallons. You can expect to see around 18 miles per gallon in the city and 23 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 110.5 inches. Its overall length is 184.9. It has a width of 76.2 and a height of 63.9 inches. With all those specs out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the exterior walk around on the Macan S. We're gonna start up front with the LED headlights. They have a really nice design in them. There's also a cool feature about them is they are actually fixed. So when you open up the hood, you'll see the opening in the hood where the headlights should be when the hood is obviously closed. So that's a really unique feature. It looks really cool with the hood surrounding the headlight. As we make our way to the front here, this has active grille shutters. You'll see those through the slats of the front grille just to provide better aerodynamics and better airflow to that turbocharged engine. You can see there's parking sensors up front. On both sides we have the turn signals along with some more slats to the front mounted radiators so you can provide even more airflow to those. You'll see there's even more cutouts down below along with a gloss black trim surrounding the lower section of the bumper. And then we have very clean lines on the top of the hood. Also on a side note, this Mamba Green is very vibrant in person. It's a really unique color for the Macan, and I think it looks really great. But as we make our way to the side profile now, you'll see the 20-inch wheels with a 5-spoke design. They also have a 2-tone finish to them. You can see more of the gloss black surrounding the lower section of the door. It's on the door handles, it's also surrounding all the window trim, and it's up on the roof racks as well. This does, however, have body-colored side mirrors with the integrated turn signal, and up top it has a full panoramic sunroof. The side profile has a really clean and elegant design, as most Porsche models do. We have very nice curved lines. You can see that running just above the door handle. And then we have some aggressive designs in the lower section of the door. You can see this line right there. Really great contoured lines to it. And now finishing up in the rear of the Macan, you can see we have the gloss black spoiler with the integrated third brake light. Wiper blade is mounted on the lower section of the steeply raked glass to help improve better visibility from the interior, but it also gives it a very nice rake from the exterior. This also has LED taillights, and you can see the connector bar has Porsche spelled out, just giving it a really nice design through the power liftgate, and then Macan S is just below that. This does have a backup camera mounted just above the license plate. Of course, we have the parking sensors, and then down below you can see the quad tip dual exhaust. Now it's time to go ahead and check out the interior on this Macan S, and this specific model has a treat inside once we go ahead and take a look. Well, let's go ahead and start off with the door panel real quick. We have leather covering the entire door panel along with stitching. Really nice trim piece and brushed aluminum on the upper section of the door. We have the brushed aluminum release handle with lock and unlock and the memory seating adjustments. This also has power folding side mirrors with all those controls. Along with the automatic windows, we have the power liftgate along with the child lockout. This also has a 10-speaker Bose audio sound system. You can see a little bit of storage space in the lower section of the door as well. And then moving on to my favorite feature on this specific model, we have the 2-tone leather seats. They are black and green to match the exterior. I think it's a really cool look. We have really nice bolstering support, nice stitching. We have all of these side controls as well. And then making our way to the steering wheel, you'll see it's completely finished off in black leather with black stitching on the inside. And then to check out the rest of the controls, let's go ahead and fire up the Macan. We're gonna insert the key over on the left side, and then with my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and start it up. Back to the steering wheel now. On the right side, we have controls for Bluetooth. There's also a rotary dial here that will control the right digital screen. So right now you can look at engine vitals. We can scroll and look at the audio. You have your phone when that is hooked up and paired, along with a navigation map, which is cool to see. And there's also your trip information. You have your TPMS, along with your torque split between the front wheels and the rear wheels, and the lap timer. So that's very useful information to go through. And then in the center, we have the tach along with your gear selection. We have the miles per hour down below. It's also over on the left side, along with your trip information on the lower side of that screen. You can also go between the different driving modes using this rotary dial. We have Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual. You'll also notice this is how you change the exhaust note as well. And then just by clicking this button in the center, it gives you 20 seconds for the sport response. So it's going to give you a little bit better throttle response if you need to merge into traffic or pass on the highway. Moving to the left side of the key now, we have the headlight controls. You'll see there's one air vent along with leather covering the entire dash. There's a clock right in the center, which is neat to see. And now moving on to the touchscreen system. There's a ton of information that you can go through on this center screen. If I click the up left button, this is our home setting. So you can look at a lot of information from your radio, your phone. You have voice commands to look at. If we go one below that, we have the navigation, so you can pull that up in full screen. These are basically all presets, so the left side does not change. We can go into media. You have your phone. Going into car, we can look at a lot of things. Looking at vehicle now, you have your locks, your lighting, visibility, and things like that. You have your display system that you can look at. We can also go back to your trip information, and then you have your chrono. So this is the lap timer if you're taking this out on the track or you just want to have some fun with it. And then you have some apps that you can go through. You can also scroll down to your sound, so you can adjust everything for the stereo. You have some more devices and a settings button, so you can go through and look at all of that vital information. Just underneath that, we have physical buttons for some of those shortcuts off and to the left side, your navigation, your car apps, everything that I basically went over. You have volume for the radio along with a few other controls. And then just underneath that, you'll see two air vents, and then we have some controls that we can go through. You can see your hazards along with the downhill assist control. We have some AC buttons. On both sides, you have the temperature and fan speed for driver and passenger, so you can easily adjust those. You have where you'd like the air to go just behind that, clicking on any of these buttons here, along with the heated seat controls, which have 3 different options for them. You also have traction control and an off-road setting. And then over on the passenger side, we have the engine start-stop button, along with the lane keeping assist. You have the AC controls and same settings you saw for the driver, along with the heated seat. And then right in the center, we have the shifter finished off in leather. If we go ahead and put the vehicle into reverse, you'll see the backup camera up here. We have the guidelines on the right side and then the sensors on the left side. You can also go all the way down into manual mode, and that allows you to use the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, which are finished off in aluminum. They have a really nice design to them. Just behind that, we have the electronic parking brake along with the Macan badge. You'll see a little bit of storage space with a 12 volt and then 2 cup holders right in the center. As we work our way to the center armrest now, it's finished off in leather. You have a good amount of room along with 2 USB ports down below. And then over on the glove box side here, you have plenty of room for everything that needs to go in there. You can see there's piano black finishes above that. Just gives it a very nice look. And then we'll take one last look at these 2-tone seats, which I think is my favorite part of this model. And then up top, this does have a full panoramic sunroof, so of course you can use that button to go ahead and open it up, and you can see it provides a lot of lighting. You also have some more controls for the dome lights. You have your garage door buttons, along with being able to turn on and off the parking sensors. Moving on to the back seats now of the Macan. Of course, the 2-tone leather continues on to the back, just giving it a really unique look. As far as legroom goes, I have the front seat set at my height, which is 5'10". Plenty of room for my feet and knees, and I have plenty of room for my head as well. Looking at the center armrest now, if you don't have a middle passenger, you have 2 cup holders along with the armrest here, and then you can also fold this down. So the rear seats have a 40-20-40 split, just gives you a little bit more access to put in any larger items and still utilize the outer 2 seats. You'll see right in the center, we also have a temperature control along with 2 USB ports down below. You have a little bit of storage space behind both front seats, and I really like how the panoramic sunroof comes all the way back. Definitely provides a lot of lighting. And then real quick, to show how to fold the outer 2 seats, all you have to do is grab this latch right next to the headrest, and I can easily fold this down, and now we have a 60-40 split. Gives you a lot of space into the rear area there. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the rear storage space. It's really cool how they've integrated this button to open it up. It's underneath the rear wiper blade, so just by pushing on that, the power liftgate will of course automatically open up. And you can see from this angle, we have a ton of room with the back seats up. And then when you fold them down, Obviously that gives you a lot more room. You can put any items in here that you'd like to. But with the back seats up, you can see there are tie-down hooks in all four corners, so you can safely secure any items. If we open this up, you'll see the tire in the back, along with some more space if you want to hide any items down there, which is really cool to see. And then on the left side, there's a 12 volt. There's a net on the right side if you want to hold in any items. And of course, you can remove this cover. We have a net up top as well. So you definitely have plenty of space. And then up top, you have the button to go ahead and close it up. Alright, so getting the Porsche Macan S out on the road now. This is a very cool, smaller size SUV from Porsche. I really like the green with the green seats. It's not overdone, but it's just enough green brought into the interior to really tie in everything together. I really like the spec of this particular model. We have leather everywhere. We have very nice trim pieces with the piano black, the brushed aluminum. It's on the door handles, and it just gives it a really cool look. If you're looking for a unique Porsche, this is definitely the one to get because this screen is just very eye-catching. Let's go ahead and pop it into Sport Plus now, and we'll pop it over to use these paddle shifters here and give it a little bit of gas. Wow. Nothing crazy. We're up to the speed limit just like that. It doesn't have a loud exhaust. You can hear it just a little bit, even in Sport Plus. There were a couple pops in the revs earlier as well. We'll go ahead and pop it back into normal mode just to see if there's a difference. So from first gear again. You can definitely feel that Sport Plus gives you a lot more throttle control, which is of course the point of it, just to make it a little bit more sporty. But now just talking about what it's like to drive this SUV, I've put a couple miles on it so far, and I really like it. It's driving very nicely. It's very smooth, absorbing bumps very well. It's also pretty quiet and well insulated on the inside as well, so you don't have to worry about road noise or anything on the exterior. You can just focus on your drive. But now going ahead and talking about visibility, it's very easy to see all around. As I mentioned earlier, from the exterior, you have a pretty steeply raked rear glass. It gives it a very cool look from the outside, but from the inside, it doesn't really hinder your visibility. I can easily see behind me, looking over my right shoulder. I can easily look out of that glass. We have a little bit of a pillar over on that side, but it's not too bulky. You can see around it. You can use your side mirrors. I also like the fact too that we have another glass piece in front of the side mirror, so that gives you a little bit more visibility, especially on your passenger side. And I can look over my left shoulder, easily see anybody behind me. But now let's move back to the interior here. Coming around some of these turns, I'm about to come up to a sharp left, so let's go ahead and pop it back over into the manual mode, and we'll do another small acceleration in Sport Plus. It handles very well for a heavy SUV. And then coming out of this turn, definitely has a good amount of power to get you up and moving again. Really nice how everything is separated, of course, for driver and passenger. So while there are a lot of buttons in the center, they're divided, so it doesn't seem like a lot. There's duplicates because obviously you have the passenger seat, but everything is laid out well. It's very easy to go through, and I like the temperature controls. They're at an angle where you can see them. You have your temperature and fan speed, of course, but then you have the center screen that has a lot of information, and it's very user-friendly. It's very intuitive. It's easy to go through, along with being able to adjust the different driving modes. I haven't shown this just yet, but we have the Sport Response. So just by pushing on that, we have 20 seconds. We'll give it a little bit of gas here. Wow. That definitely kicks you back in your seat, and you can hear that turbo noise as well. We're going to go ahead and downshift. That was just in automatic mode. Let's go ahead and try it in manual mode here. I don't think the camera's going to be able to hear that, but you can hear the turbo noise just a little bit. That is pretty cool. But I think that's going to wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive behind the wheel of the 2020 Porsche Macan S. Once again, huge shout out to Greenville Luxury for providing this SUV for me today. Definitely check out their website. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video.